Alright folks, it is Matthew and we are back. Playing Criminal Case on Facebook, code Pitching ACD8. Got 4 more energy, so thank you. So, let's get started. Thanks to these 3, Ezra, Paulo Roberto, and Van D. So, let's get to Case 8. Death in the Desert. Ooh. Okay, deep in the Sahara. Matthew, you've read the brief. We've got a new lead on Chief Ripley's killer. The killer's operating under the code name The Sword, and we have to follow their trail deeper into the desert, where they're hiding. The Deep Sahara is uncharted territory. Sometimes nomadic tribes set up camp, but... Are you the police? My name is Anir Aznag. I need your help. Something's happened. I'm the leader of the Nawa, a traveling tribe. And there's a dead foreigner in my camp. What? Where? Show us the way to your camp, Mr. Aznag. Sheriff Matthew will investigate right away. I better make sure I change dogs. There we are. Mario up over the 2 million mark in terms of coins. Okay. Oh man. He wasn't kidding. The victim's body. Oh man, looks like he was burnt to a crisp. Rose. Oil lamp. Why can't they just call that a... Why can't they just call that a regular genie lamp? Alright. Matthew, that tribesman was right. The man lying on the campfire is dead. The victim's wearing a suit. He's definitely not a nomad, but that's odd even for a foreigner. What happened, Anir? I don't know. Sheriff Matthew, we were away tending to the animals. I came back alone and I found this dead man in the camp. Wait, you mean a stranger dropped dead in your camp without any of you seeing a thing? The Almighty have mercy on my soul, Sheriff Matthew. That is the truth. But this man's not a stranger. I know him. He's an American called Donald Barnes. Well, get your story straight, Anir. Sheriff Matthew will take your statement in a minute. I see you found a clue, Matthew. Good call. We'll have a look inside that clay pot. We've just arrived and already there's a dead American in a Nawa camp. I'm not liking this one bit. Let's get to work. Let's autopsy the victim now. And I'm going to grab a bunch of stars, so I'll be right back. Okay, I got me 6 stars. I'm going to examine the clay pot first, but first I got 1 energy. Oh. 8 energy, it's a locked watch. Matthew, that gadget he found in the clay pot in the Nawa camp looks like a high-tech watch. Such a fancy device probably belonged to the victim, but it's locked. Good idea, Matthew. Unlock the victim's gadget. It might explain how it ended up in that clay pot. Got an ace of clubs. Let's examine the electronic device. I don't think examining this is going to lead me to the next crime scene, but hey, you never know. X8, and G7R. Ah, just missed out on the 9. Well done, decoding the device you found on the Nawa clay pot. Let's send it to Elliot. And 9 hours. And let's question Anir Aznag. So you're Anir Aznag, the leader of the Nawa, a nomadic tribe. You found a dead American in your camp, but claim to know nothing about the murder. Tell us how you knew Mr. Barnes. Mr. Barnes just walked into our camp one night. We thought he got lost in the desert, so we invited him for dinner. It's the Nawa tradition to treat visitors generously. Other tribes are less accommodating. Don't take this the wrong way, Anir, but if you're so hospitable, how did Barnes end up dead in your camp? I swear, Sheriff Matthew, I wish Barnes no harm, and nor did any of my people. I vouch for every last one of them. Alright, tell us about the night Barnes dined with the Nawa. What did you talk about? Barnes said he came to the Sahara on business. He was the CEO of an American company called Sandoil, that big refinery not far from here. That's a start. Thank you, Anir. Sheriff Matthew, let's check out that refinery. Might be a faded thing right there. Yep. Faded poster. Climate justice. A no smoking. The rat. A torn newspaper. And I see the bucket. 6 seconds. Already up to 15th. So this is a refinery where Barnes was CEO. Impressive. An industrial plant so deep in the desert. And what's that poster with the victim's picture? A fire safety notice? There's some faded writing next to the victim's picture. Let's make it legible. And that torn paper's worth restoring. I agree. If the victim ran this place, anything could be a clue. Okay, I gotta get a few stars, I'll be back. Okay folks, we're back. And now let's examine the torn newspaper. Whew! Just hit the 9 in time. Matthew, the torn paper you found in the refinery is an article. The headline says, Accident in Refinery, 17 dead. A fatal accident at Sandoil? What a grim prelude to Mr. Barnes' visit at the plant. The article is about the victim's families demanding justice. That young woman is holding a picture, crying. I agree, we should find out what happened. Identifying the woman in the article is a good start. I think that's the third one. Okay, examine the woman's face. answer. Isa Farid. Maybe that's not it. So the woman in the article is Isa Farid, 27 years old. Clean criminal record. Her husband was one of the oil workers who died in the accident. Are you sure this Isa Farid is useful to us, Matthew? Looks like a poor local woman who's already been through a horrible ordeal. Good point, Matthew. We know so little about how people live in the Sahara. At least Isa can tell us about life around the refinery. Let's question her. About the accident at the oil refinery. Okay. Sorry to trouble you, Isa, but we're investigating the murder of a Sandoil executive. We know your husband worked at the refinery. My husband died in the explosion with 16 others. I knew them all. They were like family. And now you hassle me for some rich businessman's demise? Should I feel sorry for him? Sandoil's the real murderer, Sheriff Matthew. Management only wants profit, but treats local workers like slaves. What about the CEO of Barnes? Have you ever met him, Isa? You think an American manager would talk to the victim's family, Sheriff Matthew? Perhaps offer a personal apology? Ha! Sandoil only sent Barnes here to hire new workers. Sandoil promised us jobs and progress, but it brought only misery. For all I care, the desert can swallow up the refinery tomorrow. Faded poster. I'll grill you on the barbecue. Wow. Matthew, the text you revealed on the poster with Barnes' face reads, "I'll grill you on the barbecue." Well spotted. The message seemed to be written in charcoal. I agree. Rather ominous on a fire safety poster, especially as Barnes died over burning embers. You're right. If that's not a coincidence, then it's the killer's work. Let's send the poster to Lars. How long? 3 hours. I'll let at least these two run their courses. Maybe I'll speed up the victim's autopsy, but we'll see what happens. So for now, this is Matthew. Over and out. It's Cool Pitching Ace 88. Alright folks, it is Matthew and we are back. I'm going to speed up the autopsy first. I managed to recharge myself. Recharge my cash. Hello, Matthew. I'm enrolled in an online photography course. I'll take pictures everywhere we go. Of course, if you keep sending me dead bodies, I may never get out of the morgue. Let's see. Donald Barnes, male, age 53, upper body partially burnt, as he was found half roasted on the campfire. But that's not what killed him. It's clear from the bruises on the neck that the victim was first strangled with a rope, then tossed on the fire. Fairly straightforward. There's nothing straightforward about a dead American in a nomadic camp. This could be the work of someone with a political agenda. Well, here's a detail that might help. The bruising suggests the rope was tied around the victim's neck with a special knot. This type of knot is used by Saharan camel riders. It's how they fasten the harness around the camel's head. So the killer used the rope on the victim as if he bridled a camel. Interesting. In a sadistic way. Alright, Matthew, let's show this killer who knows the ropes best in this desert. Alright. I got me another OJ. Thanks to a royal flush. Now the unlock device. Hello, Matthew. The gadget you found in the Nawa camp is a personal tracking device. It was used to monitor the victim. The bad news is that I couldn't download any data from the device. The file self-destructed after transmission. So you don't know who was tracking Barnes? Well, it's useful as a chocolate fire guard then. Who do you take me for, Carmen? In all of 5 minutes, I hijacked a Russian GPS satellite and downloaded the tracker's data from it. The victim was tracked by someone called Jonah Karam. Matthew's already met him. He's a... Jonah Karam? Of course, this has Jonah written all over it. I should have guessed. What? You know him too? I met Jonah years ago. He was a useful field contact back when I was a war reporter. Jonah's a little rough around the edges, but he'll help us, Matthew. I can't wait to talk to him again. Why Jonah was tracking the victim? Long time no see, Carmen. So, you've ditched your camera to work for the Bureau. Atta girl. And you're still a freelance troublemaker. Matthew says your mugshots are all over our office. Here's a chance to redeem yourself. Give us the lowdown on Barnes. Why were you following him? Barnes hired me to be his bodyguard. Man, he was the worst client ever. Rich, ignorant, never traveled. He thought the Sahara was just like Manhattan, but with sand. I had to put that tracker on him, pretending it was an expensive watch. It was the only way to keep Barnes safe. Well, it clearly didn't work. He's dead. I couldn't protect him against his own stupidity. Barnes regularly wandered off into the desert behind my back. That's why I wasn't with him. Well, Jonah, try to lay low until this investigation's over. You're an old friend, but Cross Sheriff Matthew and the Bureau will come after you. Another card, Queen of Clubs, another Royal Flush, and the safety poster. Matthew, this poster has more clues on the killer than just the message written on it. But that's forensics for you. I even wrote a song about it. Hey killer, you have nowhere to hide. Matthew will find you because you left this trace behind. Feel free to give us your test results after the guitar solo, Lars. Yes, ma'am. The writing on the poster is in charcoal, as Matthew correctly guessed. But the killer left behind something else as they were writing the message. Skin cells from their fingers. And the skin cells had traces of dates on them. Your killer was munching on dates before writing that threat to the victim, Matthew. Badumts. Matthew, this case is slipping through our fingers like desert sand. It's time we got a grip on it. We came here chasing a lead about the sword, Chief Ripley's presumed killer. But instead we found an American businessman strangled in a nomadic camp. The tribe leader, Anir, is an obvious suspect, but he's cooperative and seems honest. Then there's Isa, the widow of an oil worker who died at the refinery, where Barnes was CEO, but that's not enough to pin the murder on Isa. And then there's Jonah, my old friend. He's certainly done shady things in the past, including killing people, but something tells me he... Matthew, check this out. I picked up a faint GPS signal from the deep desert. There's a steady signal roughly between the refinery and the Nawa camp, but the funny thing is, there's no known human settlement there. Someone's lurking around our crime scenes in the desert. Trying to pay them a surprise visit, Matthew. We'll get to Chapter 2 in just a few minutes. Alright folks, it is Matthew and we are back. Playing Criminal Case on Facebook. Let's start Chapter 2. Case number 8, Death in the Desert, World Edition. Matthew, check this out. I picked up a faint GPS signal from the desert. There's a steady signal roughly between the refinery and the Nawa camp, but the funny thing is, there is no known human settlement there. Signs of movement in the desert? Barnes' killer is still on the loose for starters. And we know that the mysterious assassin who killed the chief, the Sword, is also out there. And now someone's lurking around our crime scenes? How about we pay them a surprise visit, Matthew? Here are the coordinates, Matthew. There's nothing out there but an old airplane that crashed into the dunes back in the 1950s. Good luck. Okay. Tablet. Rose. Rope. Oh, that's a clue. Okay. Vulture and Sandglass souvenir. So 3 clues. Ace of clubs and ace of hearts. Thank you very much. Aside from this old plane wreck Elliot mentioned, all clear here. Have you found anything suspicious, Matthew? You found a rope. Angela said the victim was strangled, so that's definitely a lead. And there's some white substance on the rope. Let's collect a sample while there's still daylight. And you've also found some colored sands in a bottle. Ah, I've seen souvenirs like this before, except for the strange theme. Is that an oil drill in the sand? Alright, recover the faded writing on the tag attached to the bottle. And, hey, is that a tablet? That could be the source of the signal Elliot detected. Don't hang around, Matthew. Crack the password. Gonna grab some stars first. I'll be right back. Alright, I got myself up to 20 stars. Let's examine the stained rope. Wow. Matthew, you collected a sample of that white substance from the rope. Let time for Lars to get his chemistry set out. How long? 6 hours. Sandglass souvenir now. Barnes, you're not welcome on our land. That's not a good message. Matthew, you've revealed a message on the gift tag on the sand souvenir. It says, Barnes, you're not welcome on our land. I agree, Matthew. This makes the bottle less like a souvenir and more like a threat, and was clearly meant for the victim. Trouble is, we don't know who made this bottle. Good idea, Matthew. We should give the sand bottle to Marina. She'll profile the artist for us. $12 hours. Okay, tablet. Oh no, M3E. Oh no. No, RBD. Oh, that was pathetic. Great, Matthew. You've unlocked the tablet you found by the plane wreck. So this tablet was the source of the signal Elliot detected. Let's see. Hey, you two, that's my tablet, and this is my campsite. Isn't the desert big enough for you guys to camp somewhere else? We aren't campers, we're bureau agents, and you are... My name is Benjamin Scott. I'm on a gap year from England. I'm Carmen Martinez, and this is Sheriff Matthew. We detected your tablet signal and decided to run a safety patrol. Got a minute to talk? See what this kid has to say. What Benjamin Scott is doing in the desert. So what brings you to the Sahara, Mr. Benjamin Scott from England? I told you I'm on a gap year. Geez, I thought I was off the beaten track here. The desert can be dangerous for solo travelers, Benjamin, and American businessmen's already got killed. Any chance you run into a certain Donald Barnes? He came here on business, but wandered off into the desert. Look, I'm here to have an adventure, as far away from American businessmen as possible. I'll have the rest of my life to spend in a corporate cubicle. Now it's time to revel in freedom. Well then, just stay safe. Call us if you need it, if you see anything unusual. Here, I believe this is your tablet. Hey, wait, do you have a charger I could borrow? I'm all out of battery power, and nights are long in the desert without net films. Oops. Well, it appears that was it anyway. So despite it white screened on me, I got everything pretty much. So I'll see you guys for when these two run their courses. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Okay folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the white substance. I let them both run their courses. Hello Matthew, this white substance you found on the robe was a forensic gold mine. First, there were skin cells in the sample, matching the victim's DNA profile.
I was convinced, and we need your help.
Which means the rope you found is the murder weapon. Barnes was strangled. Barnes was strangled with. But here's the good stuff. I also found traces of goat's milk in the sample. Goat's milk? I didn't know you needed a rope to milk goats. You don't. The goat's milk was ready to drink. It got on the murder weapon by cross-contamination. The killer touched the rope after handling goat's milk. Goat's milk has many benefits, Matthew. Good for your bones and teeth, and it also helps you convict killers.
We think he doubles his fun by having one victim listen to another's torture.
Drinks goat milk. Clue number 3.
He's not predictable detective. He usually hunts in the city and dumps in the country across
And the gift tag?
He dumped the body in a remote area of Central Park.
Hello, Matthew. This sand bottle made for the victim is the work of a creative but disturbed mind. Making art out of sand requires patience and calm focus. These are qualities of a strong personality. But like the sand in the bottle, human emotions are layered. Underneath the calm, I see a lot of repressed anger. And it's clear from the gift tag that the artist's anger is directed at the victim. That's fascinating, Marina. But how do we find this angry artist in the Sahara? I've already found her, Matthew. Miss Beauty and Brains cajoled me into some seriously boring database work. I can't bear to repeat the details. Marina managed to get you to work, Elliot? She really is the best psychologist on Earth. Very funny. You want to know who made this bottle or not, Matthew? It's a nomad woman called Mama Yasmin. She sells handmade trinkets at the local market whenever she sets up camp. Thank you, guys. Matthew, let's find this Mama Yasmin.
It's Lavanda.
You reported one of your dancers missing. We think we may have found Bunny Jones.
What are you talking about? Chicken head's right over there. Yo, Bunny.
Bunny Jones?
What do you need, honey?
Brought her hostile message to Donald Barnes.
Damn well. Shacked up with that no credit loser.
Mama Yasmin, you have a minute? We met another Nawa this morning. You're probably from the same tribe. I'm not a Nawa. My family's feuded with Anir's family for 7 generations. I'm a Kadir and proud of it. To think Anir and I could be from the same tribe. Come back when you've learned some manners, ignorant foreigners. Looks like I put my foot in it by assuming Mama Yasmin is from the same tribe as Anir. Matthew, do you think we could still interrogate Yasmin if I run after her and apologize? Forgive my mistake, Mama Yasmin. We don't know much about tribal relationships, but we need your help in another matter. Sound Oil's American CEO was murdered in the desert. We know many locals resent the refinery, and this gift suggests you do too. The refinery lures our people into a sedentary life, promising jobs and progress, but living in a slum is not progress. We nomads are born to roam the dunes on camelback, eat fresh dates, and sleep under the stars. Freedom's all we have, and that's what the refinery's taking away. Is that why you made this gift for the refinery CEO, Yasmin? You have to admit the message was pretty rude. And who are you to give me etiquette lessons on my own land? Lecture your own compatriots and leave my affairs to me. Wow, Matthew, I remember Anir saying not all nomadic tribes treated foreigners kindly, and Mama Yasmin certainly doesn't hold back. You're right, the Sanoil refinery seems to be the center of everything around here. Even the nomads feel strongly about it. Let's have a second look. Okay, got an ace of clubs. I'm glad that this thing did not fail on me. Silver tray, okay. Crow, 2 rack, light bulb, drawing, and cell phone. Did pretty good. It's enough for the first star. Is that an empty food tray covered in crumbs? It looks out of place among all the oil drums and machinery. You want to vacuum up the crumbs in that tray? Alright, if you think it's the best you can do, go on. And that cell phone with the Sanoil logo must be a company phone. Probably the victims. You know the drill. Crack the password. Examine the cell phone now. Currently under happy hour right now with times 8 or times 6 happy hour. Another 9 energy. Matthew, you've decoded the Sanoil cell phone. Over to Elliot now. $12 hours. $1:14 right now, so I should get that at 1:14 a.m. Got it. Bread morsels. Alright, Matthew, you vacuumed up the crumbs in that silver tray you found in the refinery. Now what? Oh, I see. There's some text cards into the tray. Locals unite against foreigners. You're right. Hatred towards foreigners is a common theme around here, Matthew, which clearly didn't bode well for Donald Barnes. Anyway, I agree. Looking at the breadcrumbs under the microscope might lead to the author of the message. Examine the breadcrumbs. Let's That's one. That's two. Isa. Matthew, you found a strand of human DNA in the crumbs you vacuumed from the tray. And the DNA matches one of our suspects, Isa Farid. We know Isa's husband died in the refinery accident, but stirring up locals against foreigners goes beyond understandable grief. You're right, Matthew, we must ask Isa about this. Hostility towards foreigners? Isa, Sheriff Matthew found this silver tray with your message in the refinery. Care to explain? I bake bread and bring fresh dates to the refinery every day. Now that my husband's dead, the workers are my family. Poor people look after each other. Sheriff Matthew. But what did you mean by locals uniting against foreigners? Nothing you didn't fight for your own country centuries ago, Sheriff Matthew. The right to protect our land from those who exploit it. Those are big words, Isa. Protecting one's land can be a violent affair. How far would you go for the cause? Would you kill a man? I didn't kill Barnes, if that's what you mean, but whoever did helped this country wake up a little. I'm grateful to them. And now I have to feed my camels. Stay out of what you don't understand, Sheriff Matthew. I'll let the phone run its course, so for now this is Matthew. See you then. Alright folks, we're back. I'm going to get the results of the phone. Matthew, I've looked at the cell phone you found at the refinery. Carmen, your mate, Mr. Hitman, is in trouble again. Jonah? How so? Well, as you suspected, the phone belonged to Donald Barnes. But I found text messages in Barnes' phone from Jonah, like this. I will keep you safe even if I have to punch you. Oh dear, Jonah did say Barnes was a difficult client, and Jonah's not known for his patience, but this time he's gone too far. Matthew, I can't believe we're wasting our time on Jonah's antics, but we have to talk to him again. Okay, about a threatening text to the victim. You look stressed, Carmen. Here, have some dates to sweeten your day. Jonah, I'm a bureau agent now, not your guardian angel. I told you, one bad move and you're on your own. Wait, what did I do? I was just out taking camel riding lessons from a local boy. What were you thinking, threatening to assault your own client? In writing, a day before he was murdered. Oh, so it's that. Come on, Carmen, you know me, and you know the Sahara. There's no time for pleasantries where everything that moves wants to kill you. And Barnes had more than enough enemies. Just answer one question, Jonah. Did you ever lay a finger on Barnes, even once? No, and I'll regret it till the day I die. Lying unconscious in his hotel room with a broken nose would have saved that idiot's life. I failed my mission by being too civilized. We've made some discoveries, but we're no closer to Barnes' killer, Matthew. Also, no trace of the sword, the chief's killer. But night's rapidly approaching. Let's recap. According to Jonah, Barnes didn't realize how dangerous the Sahara was, but was his own bodyguard the biggest threat? As CEO, Barnes was also a potential target for various people with a grudge against the refinery. The nomads like Mama Yasmin resent the refinery because people are giving up a traditional lifestyle for stability and jobs. But Isa's story shows the refinery workers aren't happy either. They're exploited, poor, and... Matthew, I need your help. I don't know what to do. Angela's missing. She went out to the desert hours ago. and never came back. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. Okay, I'll get to chapter 3 after this. Alright folks, it is Matthew and we are back. And we're now going to start chapter 3 of Death in the Desert. Matthew, I don't know what to do. Angela's missing. She went out to the desert hours ago and never came back. What? Angela's in the desert alone? Why? Well, Angela's very excited about her photography course. She wanted to take some sunset shots in the desert, but she's been gone for so long. Sunset shots? Has she gone insane? This is not a package holiday. Does she want to become the next dead foreigner in the Sahara after Barnes? What if she runs into the Sword, the presumed killer of the chief? The desert's full of rebels, assassins, and danger. Matthew, we've got to find Angela before nightfall. Let's start at the creek. Seems kind of unusual their own coroner would run out. Whatever happens, happens, I guess. Well, there's some broken pieces. Faded postcard. Flower backpack. Oh! Shoe and a feather. I may not make it very high up in this scene. Matthew, I can't see Angela anywhere, and night's rapidly approaching. Say cheese! Angela, what were you thinking? Don't you know there's a killer on the loose out here? I'm so sorry, Matthew. I didn't realize how late it was. Between the morgue and the triplets, I haven't had time for a hobby in years. I promise I won't do this again. Well, at least Matthew's found some clues in the sand. Let's restore those broken pieces so this isn't a total waste of time. And is that postcard addressed to Mama Yasmin? Hey, it's from the USA. I wonder who'd write to Yasmin from America, Matthew. Let's recover the postcard's message. And that backpack over there, it has the name Benjamin on it. Hey, isn't Benjamin the British teenager we've met before? He's on an adventure trip. Are you sure we should be snooping in his personal stuff, Matthew? You're right, we're running out of daylight. We can't be picky with clues. Dig in, then. Let me just get the first star and then we'll go on. Alright, got the first star. Let's take the broken pieces now. It's like a rice cooker. Matthew's on an electric deep fryer you're holding? Or am I seeing a mirage? Oh, I ended up with a jack of clubs. Who makes fries in the desert? Matthew, you think it's worth sending this fryer to Lars for analysis? Alright, but make it swift. Alright, 9 hours. Benjamin's backpack now. A lighter. A sand oil lighter. What did you find in Benjamin's backpack, Matthew? I'm still not sure about searching a teenager's belongings. You found a lighter with the Sand Oil logo. Hold on, if Benjamin's just a backpacker looking for freedom, where did he get a Sand Oil lighter? Could Benjamin have any links to the refinery or Barnes? What if he blighted us with this gap year story, Matthew? You're right, we'll be more thorough with Benjamin this time. How he got a hold of the Sand Oil lighter? Benjamin, I'll cut to the chase. You said you never met Donald Barnes. How did you get a lighter with his company's logo then? Bummer, I knew I was going to get in trouble for that. I didn't mean to lie, Sheriff Matthew. The truth is, I stole that lighter from Barnes at the airport, but we never spoke to each other. I was waiting for my turn at immigration when along came this bloke in a suit and tried to jump the queue. That was Barnes, just landed and already acted like a moron. So you stole Barnes' lighter because he annoyed you? You've got to admit, that's an immature way to seek justice. I'm not proud of it, Sheriff Matthew. I did it on the spur of the moment. I tried to get the lighter back to Barnes' bodyguard later when I spotted them at the market. The bodyguard was a nice guy. He gave me a carton of goat's milk, but I was too embarrassed to fess up. We'll let you off this time, Benjamin, but grow up a little. I don't fancy calling your parents to say you've got killed in the desert. Well, we know Benjamin Scott is cleared for now, but Jonah Karam is in the running. Okay, faded postcard. Goodbye, Mama, I shall never return to the desert. Uh-oh. Matthew, the text on the American postcard you found in the desert says, Goodbye, Mama, I shall never return to the desert. We didn't know Yasmin had a child who moved to America. But you're right, Matthew. This could explain her bitterness towards foreigners. This discovery could turn the case around. Let's find Yasmin. I think this is the fifth one. Fifth coins I've got, anyway. About her son's postcard. That postcard's precious to me, Sheriff Matthew. My son sent it from America. Your son moved to America and decided never to come back again? That must be hard for a mother who's so proud of her traditions. Sadly, many young men abandon the nomadic way of life, Sheriff Matthew. When my own son emigrated to the USA, I knew it was the beginning of our tribe's decline. That postcard must evoke painful memories. Why do you cherish it then? That's the last message I had for my boy. I take it everywhere with me. One day I was at the marketplace buying goat's milk from a local woman, Isa. When I spotted Barnes, I apologized for being so unfriendly before and showed him the postcard. I asked if he'd met my son in America. After all, they both lived there. But Barnes said America was a big place. He laughed in my face and threw the postcard to the wind. See, Sheriff Matthew, foreigners only have contempt for local people. I shall never speak to them again. I hope you didn't seek revenge on Barnes, Yasmin. You'd have done more harm than good to the nomads and to yourself. Well, that's going to do it here, and I'll let the deep fryer run its course. So for now, this is Matthew. See you in the morning. Alright folks, we're back. Let's get the results of the deep fryer. Thanks for finding my wife, Matthew. I was worried about her, with night approaching. Now this fryer you found in the desert, it's an American brand, reliable, great for developing obesity-related heart disease or Skip the fast food jokes, Lars. Just tell us, will this wretched appliance help us solve the murder? Well, for starters, it had plenty of fingerprints from one of your suspects, Anir Aznag. It was him who smashed the fryer to pieces. But there's more. Elliot looked up the fryer's warranty and discovered that it was purchased with Donald Barnes' credit card. So, Barnes bought the fryer and gave it to Anir? Is giving an electric appliance to a nomad simply dumb or downright offensive? Anir said the Nawa treated Barnes like a friend, but you're right, Matthew. Their dinner may have been less cordial than we thought. Time to chat with Anir again. About the victim's gift. Anir, let's go back to the night Donald Barnes dined with your tribe. Did he give you this fryer as a gift? Yes, Sheriff Matthew. It was embarrassing. Until we found out that Barnes wanted to bribe us with that fryer, Sheriff Matthew, as if an electric appliance would impress us. Barnes tried to bribe you? What did he want from the Nawa? Barnes wanted to expand his business in the Sahara, but he couldn't do it without allies among desert tribesmen. He wanted us to be his spies and report regularly to him. But the Nawa will never become spies, Sheriff Matthew. Certainly not for an electric kitchen appliance we can't even plug in anywhere. I feed my camels better food than fries, Sheriff Matthew, and for my own diet, I prefer fresh dates. I understand your anger, Anir, but I hope for your sake that killing dinner guests isn't part of the Nawa tradition, even if they're like Barnes. Well, he's clear for now. He doesn't even handle goat milk at all. I don't think it's him. Matthew, I can't believe how many people Barnes managed to annoy during his short time in the Sahara. The minute he landed at the airport, he peeved off Benjamin by queue jumping. He then offended Mama Yasmin by laughing at her naivety about America. The poor woman hoped that Barnes had news about her immigrant son, but Barnes just mocked her. But Barnes' worst faux pas was to offer a deep fryer to Anir, the Nawa leader. It'd almost be funny had Barnes not been found dead in that camp. Trouble is, we still don't know which suspect killed Barnes, and we're running out of daylight. You're right, Matthew. If the Nawa move on, we'll be in bigger trouble. Let's search their tent before they leave with the evidence.
60 days risk-free. Promo code ready.
Let's investigate the tent.
I don't even know where to start on my report.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
You kept a blood bath and a blood loss. I just saw the killer react.
We'd all be lucky to react that fast.
I don't know how the mind goes. Do this.
A wooden box, alright.
Just safe.
Precision dish.
Not so bad.
Star. Oh, sand oil cap.
Appreciate it.
Oh no. Oh, there we go. Eagle.
Case of Thank you. It was real nice getting to know you.
You have a cut on your head.
You know what, Liv? I got a Marine Corps function I gotta go to
17th.
tonight. You'll have
All right.
fun if you're there.
You're serious?
You're part of a legendary astronaut.
I would love to go. Should I call it?
Matthew, we're lucky the Nawa haven't up sticks yet, and that wooden box must hold something important. Let's look through it. And that baseball cap with the Sand Oil logo must be the victim's. But then those tufts of hair on it must be the victim's too. In other words, useless. Alright, desperate times, desperate measures. Collect a sample of the hair, Matthew, but hurry.
He's a pretty cool guy. How many of your friends consider him named after an astronaut? Taking care of, isn't he?
Examine the cap now.
So why don't you try to be like him? Go into space too. Yeah, your grandpa
Alright.
She's getting me
Matthew, you collected hair from the victim's baseball cap. I'm doubtful it'll help, but best give it to Lars.
Got married after you got out of the Marines. Not a couple months.
15 hours. A bone. Ugh.
Makes sense.
Matthew, the box you found in the Nawa camp had Barnes' passport, credit card, and other personal effects in it. But you're right, that bone looks out of place, unless the killer dropped it while hiding Barnes' belongings in the box. Get Lars to check that bone, Matthew, now.
There you go.
And 9 hours.
Thank you. Bet you. Wait, mine? Huh?
I'll let these two run their courses, so for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Alright folks, we're back, and we're now going to get the results of the tiny bone, and I'm going to speed up the other one. I'll be quick, Matthew. You're on the clock. That bone you found among Barnes' belongings is camel bone. Camel bones are used for making traditional jewelry. Many people wear necklaces because of them. From what we learned of Barnes, he wasn't the type to wear a traditional Saharan necklace. Therefore, the camel bone could only have been the killer's. It must have fallen off their necklace into the box with Barnes' belongings. Got it, Lars. The killer wears a camel bone necklace. Let's go get them, Matthew. First of all, let me see. He's wearing the... No, it's not Jonah Karam. He escapes again. Right now it's down to these three. Down at Isa, Mama Yasmin, or... Oh no, it's not Benjamin Scott. Now it's either these two. Either way, the killer's female. But anyway, to speed this up, this hair sample you collected from the victim's baseball cap was a good find, Matthew. Not only is it not the victim's hair, but it's not even human. It's camel hair. Camel hair? Why is it good news, Lars? We need evidence that narrows down our suspect list, and everyone on it is human. That's why I look for human DNA in the sample, regardless. I didn't hold out much hope, but I got lucky. I managed to sequence an amino acid chain that holds the genetic code for eye color. Blue eyes, to be precise. And since the victim's eyes were brown... Get it, Lars. The DNA's from a blue-eyed killer. Let's crack this case, Matthew. That's it, Matthew. You collected all the evidence to arrest Barnes' killer. Okay, let's see here. Nope, it's not Isa Farid. It is Mama Yasmin. Mama Yasmin, Sheriff Matthew is arresting you for the murder of Donald Barnes. I told you, Sheriff Matthew, I shall never speak to foreigners again. You have the right to remain silent. You've already admitted you blamed the refinery for the decline of traditional values. You'll have to arrest every nomad in the Sahara if loathing the refinery is a crime, Sheriff Matthew. But you held a personal grudge against Barnes, too. He was cruel to you where it hurt most, about your son who left for America. Barnes couldn't open his mouth without offending someone. You underestimate me, Sheriff Matthew. Because of my simple life, you think my mind's simple too. Oh, we know you're more cunning than you let on, Yasmin. You planned every detail. First you strangled Barnes with the camel-riding rope. Then dumped the body at the Nawa camp with Barnes' belongings. You didn't count on Sheriff Matthew finding your DNA on Barnes' cap or the tooth from your necklace. What I didn't count on was Anir running straight to you when he discovered the body. If only he'd helped me discard the evidence, you'd never have caught me, Sheriff Matthew. You thought Anir would help you? The man whose tribe feuded with yours for generations? Anir's still a fellow nomad, even if he's a rival. In the olden days, tribes put aside their differences to defeat a common enemy, Sheriff Matthew. But I see those days are gone. It's every man for himself. Take me to prison, Sheriff Matthew. My freedom was lost a long time ago. Yasmin, I feel your pain, but you broke the law. You're under arrest for Barnes' murder. Mama Yasmin, you stand trial for killing an American citizen, Donald Barnes. Do you have anything to say to the court? Barnes' murder was a statement against the refinery and all those foreigners coming here to exploit our land and destroy our traditions. Hatred and murder are the oldest traditions in history, but I'm not sure they're worth saving. Sometimes a little progress doesn't hurt, Yasmin. The court sentences you to 20 years in prison. In 20 years I'll be dead and forgotten, Your Honor, but the stars above the sand dunes, they'll still be there, unchanged. That's not exactly correct, but this is a courtroom, not a planetarium, so all rise. Matthew, you put another killer behind bars. Sorry guys, I'm watching my local news, KITV4. But the more we learn about the Sahara, the more obvious it is how little we know. Underneath the surface there are rivalries, secret alliances, surprising personalities, and somewhere among them there's Chief Ripley's killer. We need to sift through more sand to find them.
That's all you need. Don't call his dad Jared. One name. Jared. 13-0 final score. Jesse Ahoy.
Let's take a look at the other ones. Benjamin Scott cleared from the beginning. Anir Aznag cleared when he isn't in contact with goat's milk. Jonah Karam almost made the cut. No bone necklace. Isa Farid, brown eyes, she's cleared. It was Mama Yasmin. So this is it for now. I'll see you for the AI Crossing the Desert 2. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back. Let's go to Crossing the Desert 2. Matthew, now that your investigation's over, we must focus on finding the Chief's killer. I heard it was Jonah, my old pal, who warned us that the sword had fled into the desert. I knew Jonah was a good guy. Matthew, I've heard you mention Jonah Karam. That man's a psychopath. We shouldn't believe a word he says. Whoa, Marina, you really have it in for Jonah. If I didn't know you better, I'd think it's personal. It's just a feeling, Matthew, but my intuition's never wrong. I'm a psychologist, remember? Well, if Matthew's up for a background check on Jonah, I'm in. His last assignment was for Sandoil CEO, so the refinery's a good place to start. And I agree, Matthew, we should also investigate the plane wreck. Many people who cross the desert pass through that site. And one of them could be our elusive assassin, the Sword. Let's go, Matthew. Plane wreck.
Carolina, Santa Clara's lost to Nevada tonight. Rainbow Wahine basketball team tipped off 2015 with a road win today.
74-41 over Grand Canyon. 47-35.
Boy, head coach Laura Beeman got 14 points from Sarah Fuena.
All right. Torn picture. Fuel can, logs, canteen, shell. I guess I haven't done this scene for a while, so I'm a little bit rusty. But look at this, I got up to 8th.
stay in Santa Barbara Saturday night and bust down to
Matthew, is that a torn photo? Is that torn photo all you've got? How's that going to help us find the sword? Sorry, Matthew, you're right. Complaining won't help. Showing the photo might. Let's do it then. And as you'd expect, there we are. It's Benjamin. It's that Benjamin kid. Matthew, the photo you restored is a selfie of Benjamin. Yeah, Benjamin Scott. But why is Benjamin holding a sign that says, "Greetings from Mr. Sparkle's theme park"? He's not at any theme park. He's right here, by this plane wreck. Matthew, do you think Benjamin's taking that selfie to lie about his whereabouts? But who's he trying to fool? You're right. We better ask Benjamin about this. About his deceptive selfie? Benjamin, Sheriff Matthews found your selfie with a message that says you're in a theme park, but on the picture you're standing here in the Sahara. Care to explain? If I tell you the truth, Sheriff Matthew, it's confidential, right? My parents think the Sahara is too dangerous for a teenager, so I told them I was going to Florida. It was the only way they'd let me travel alone. So that selfie was a lie to your parents? I'm not sure how I feel about this, Benjamin. Come on, Sheriff Matthew, you were 17 once. If Dad finds out where I am, he'll have me repatriated. Besides, I haven't done anything illegal. Why don't you study the nomads instead? They're more interesting like me. Than me. Be careful with the nomads, Benjamin. Not all of them are friendly. And some of them have been involved in murder. Go chase them and leave me alone then. Here, take this money too. It's not much use in the desert. 20,000 coins, thank you. Matthew, I'm a little worried about Benjamin. I couldn't forgive myself if something happened to him. But you're right, we can't arrest Benjamin for lying to his parents, and if we keep his secret, he'll know he can trust us if he gets in real trouble. It's more worrying that there's no trace of the sword anywhere. The Nawa camp? Good thinking, Matthew. It's our last chance to investigate there. Let's go. Okay, let's see what we got. Dirty scroll. Looks like I'll have to use the vacuum for this. Chair. Hammer. Snake basket. Gin. Shouldn't they just say genie? Fennec fox. Dates. Compass. Fish bones. The cigar. And the teapot. You can see I tied Orkun for 8th place. Matthew, you found a scroll in the Nawa camp? You're right, the writing on the scroll is obscured by some gray dust. Think you can vacuum it up? Examine the dirty scroll. Got it. Stay united, defend we stand. Matthew, vacuuming up the dust revealed the writing on the scroll. It says, "Stay united, defend our land." And you're right, there's a sword symbol at the bottom. So somebody's rallying the people of the Sahara to unite in the name of the sword. Matthew, you're onto something huge here. Let's see if Lars can use the great dusty vacuum to tell us more about this. "6 hours. And let's investigate the oil refinery.
Check out the chilly action. Wave riders had to don wetsuits to take advantage of the windy weather that picked up some surf for them. Waves there.
Personal friend of mine I'm going with.
Winds gusting up as high as
What do we got here?
only have to deal with.
Oh, filing cabinet. Donald C. Barnes, okay. That's the victims. Red hook, thermometer, rat. Ah! Okay. Matthew, you found a filing cabinet with Barnes' name on it. Jonah was Barnes' employee. His personnel file could be in that cabinet. Only, it's locked. Can you open it? Now let's examine the filing cabinet. GX8 and oh no, B26. Oh well. Decipher the code. Smooth work opening Barnes' filing cabinet you found in the refinery, Matthew. Let's look inside. Examine it. Flash drive. You found a USB key in Barnes' filing cabinet, Matthew. Let's give it to Elliot. I will get the results in the morning. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Alright folks, we're back. Good morning. Let's just get the results of the gray powder. Matthew, the dusty vacuum from the scroll in the Nawa camp is gunpowder. Gunpowder? I guess that's consistent with the message on the scroll calling to arms. But we need more, Lars. This clue is our link to the sword. We must milk it for all it's worth. Well, using the gunpowder's composition, I traced it through a chain of firearms dealers of dubious legality until I found Isa Farid. What? Isa Farid, the widow, is trading firearms under the sign of the sword? Time to round her up. Got our links to the sword. Isa, bringing lunch to oil workers is one thing. Supplying firearms to local tribes and inciting violence is another. We could arrest you for this. Arresting me won't change history. Everywhere in the Sahara, people are uniting under the sign of freedom. The sign of freedom? You mean the sword? Isa, tell us who's behind this mysterious insignia, or we'll hand you over to local police. Nobody knows for sure. Some say it's a great leader. Others say it's a god. What's important is that people are finally uniting to rebuild this land. Here, Sheriff Matthew, take this costume as a sign of our goodwill. I'm just trying to help my homeland. USB key now. Matthew, this USB key you found among Barnes' files had job interview recordings on it. And one of the candidates is Jonah Karam. Watch this, Matthew, and you'll never complain about my attitude again. Mr. Karam, your resume is impressive, but I'm looking for the best bodyguard in the Sahara, and this file says you missed a target once. That only happened once, many years ago. I had personal reasons to miss that shot. None of your business. So you missed a shot for dubious personal reasons, disregarding your client's interest? Rest assured, Mr. Barnes, if I want someone dead, they're dead. Thank you, Mr. Karam. We'll call you. Oh dear, not many candidates apply for this job if they hire Jonah. But seriously, Matthew, we already know Jonah's cocky. Is that why Marina's so worked up about him? You're right, Jonah tipped us off about the sword, so our whole investigation into the chief's murder hinges on his integrity. Alright, let's give Jonah a chance to reassure us. About his background? Jonah, Sheriff Matthew cleared you in the investigation, but our profiler thinks you're dangerous and we shouldn't trust you. Dangerous? You know I'm a hired gun. Killing people is my job. Sheriff Matthews watched your job interview footage. You admitted missing a target for personal reasons. What's that? What was that about? What part of personal reasons do you not understand? It happened years ago, in Russia. I don't want to discuss this. Jonah, we have to trust you for it to accept any help from you. Feel free to find another informant then, Sheriff Matthew. Great, Matthew. We managed to alienate Jonah. He won't help us now. Or do you think this proves Marina right and we shouldn't trust him? Alright, Matthew, let's grab a burger before we update Marina on this. About our mistrust of Jonah? So what did Jonah say besides bragging about the people he killed? Matthew discovered Jonah missed a shot once, in Russia, but he refuses to say why. Did you say Russia? Oh no. Marina? Matthew, Marina's run away. We must go after her. What's going on, Marina? Matthew, I have to tell you something. I was the target Jonah missed. What? Why would anyone hire a sniper to kill you? It happened when I was a psychology student in Moscow. For an assignment, I had to develop interrogation techniques designed to make people confess. I wasn't sure it'd work, but I tricked the Russian president into admitting a multi-billion-dollar fraud. He had to step down as a result. See the scar on my neck, Matthew? It's from the bullet that nearly killed me after the president put a hit on me. Ever since I met Jonah, I've had a bad feeling about him, so I asked Elliot to check on some dates. What Matthews discovered is the final piece. It was Jonah who fired at me. So, a corrupt Russian president hired Jonah to kill you? But Jonah missed the shot, and he won't say why. I bet he disobeyed the president's orders on purpose. It's just a thing he'd do. Deciding who should live and die on a whim is just a thing a psychopath would do. Matthew, I'll never trust him, and neither should you. Wow. Hey Matthew, I've heard this Benjamin guy's way cool. Ran away from home and fooled his parents with a selfie. Can I meet him? Absolutely not. You'd be a terrible influence on each other. And then you call me antisocial. Whatever. Please, Elliot, we've got enough trouble on our hands. Matthew found proof that the sword Chief Ripley's presumed killer is a mysterious Saharan leader, calling people to defend their land. And Matthew discovered that our only informant, Jonah Karam, once nearly killed our profiler. Great for morale. Things couldn't be bleaker, Matthew. In times like this, I really miss the Chief. Matthew, have you seen the news? They're reporting civil unrest in a town just outside the desert. Civil unrest? Knowing what Matthews just discovered, where there's conflict, the sword won't be far away. What are you waiting for then, Matthew? Go and catch the sword. That is it for this case. I'll see you for case 9.